Did you guys see that Sean Diddy Combs has lost a lawyer ahead of his federal sex trafficking trial?
Yeah, this is a pretty big significant story, since this highlights a very big shakeup in his legal case, which could go either way. But now with the larger talks of Pam Bondi releasing not just the Epstein list, but all the other people associated with Diddy as well, and the larger kind of conversations that are starting online, this is big, and this highlights a lot of big troubles for P. Diddy in the court systems.
I agree. So I'm going to read you a little excerpt from this E! News article. Sean Diddy Combs' legal team is getting a little smaller now. As the rap mogul's defense team prepares for his May trial on sex trafficking charges, his attorney, Anthony Rico, quote, respectfully but regrettably requested to be dismissed from his role, according to documents obtained by NBC News. Rico, who is one of 6 attorneys on the case, requested in the February 21st filing to withdraw as representation because, quote, under no circumstances can I continue to effectively serve as counsel for Sean Combs, consistent with the ABA standards for criminal justice. The quote continues, while I am aware that the local rule requires that an application for withdrawal of counsel is supported and granted only upon a showing of by affidavit or otherwise of satisfactory reasons for withdrawal, he wrote in the motion, there are sufficient reasons related to the protections afforded by the client-attorney privilege for brevity in my application for withdrawal from counsel on this case. So he wants off the case. He doesn't want to discuss why, and he is looking for the judge, essentially for mercy, to agree to let him off, even though his application isn't necessarily standard.
Yeah, his specific words here were, no circumstance can I continue. Like, a lot of people are saying that it might not be a coincidence that Kash Patel gets confirmed and then this happens. So some people are making a lot of kind of correlations here. I don't know if that's fair to make as of now. There's so many different things that could be happening here. But to me, the whole P. Diddy thing is a larger extortion racket on a lot of powerful people that were all intricately involved in the political, entertainment, and financial system. As we also heard that there was a lot of surveillance footage that was captured and taken by the FBI that they probably have on a lot of powerful people doing a lot of really weird, freaky stuff as well.
Gothix, what do you think? Is Rico bowing out because we have Kash Patel now?
That's what it seems like. I hate to draw that conclusion just based on coincidence, but I think it says a lot. Yeah, so I'm just curious to see if someone else is going to represent him. I don't see how they could, based on the things that we have been hearing about this case. But yeah, that it is very interesting.
Do you think that Sean Combs is going to spend time in prison? Like more time, official time.
More official time, perhaps a little, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, we saw on February 19th him kind of come out and say that he's singled out because he's black. And of course he's using that defense there. I don't think that Al Sharpton defense here is going to work, since a lot of people automatically responded to that with the videotape of him beating up his girlfriend in that hotel room with the bath towel around him, saying, I'm not sure if it's the color of her skin that's the problem, as they highlight the video of him beating her up pretty significantly and severely, which of course there wasn't anything able to be done with that because of the statutes of limitations that ended here. But clearly this was a man that was a billionaire, was connected to Oprah, was connected to Obama, was connected.
Oh, I can't hear Luke, but maybe that's just
getting with Kash Patel here are going to be very vast, very explosive, and very big, because the circle you choose to surround yourself with tells you a lot about yourself. And this guy was there with all of the very powerful people, with the Marina Abramoviches, with the Jay-Z's, with the politicians, the kingmakers, and a lot of the big Democratic political establishment that all were working with him in order to get out the vote or die effort, which looking back now really does highlight some bad people that were involved in that.
I wonder if the American public is going to follow this case very intensely, or if they're going to avert their eyes. So often it's like, the term in media is always sex sells, right? That people will look at these things. But it seems like Americans almost want to leave this story behind. To me, what do you think, Gothix? Do you think people are talking about what's going on with Sean Combs' case very much, or are they it's kind of too icky to touch?
I mean, I really honestly haven't seen anybody talk about this case since he got arrested and since they raided his house. I would hope that people still talk about it, especially because I'm very curious to know like the details of all of the weird stuff that they found in his house and all these weird parties that he's doing or was doing. I feel like there's some connections between the government and his weird parties, but that's just my assumption. So yeah.
Do you think more people will try and get off his legal team?
Yeah. I don't know how you could help him with this case. Like I don't understand.
Mm-hmm. It's something I think, sometimes some cases where you're right, there's something flashy, they raid his house, he gets all over the media. Then we go through sort of the pre-trial process where there's not a lot to report on. I'll be curious to see what kind of access the media has to this trial. And I think the timing is interesting. I go back and forth on whether it's Kash Patel or not, only because it seemed pretty clear that Kash Patel was going to get confirmed. Like I said, the margin of his vote was close, but it wasn't as close as Pete Hegseth. So if you were a lawyer who was getting stressed about the incoming potential FBI director, why not file to be removed last week? Why now? Yeah. Unless maybe there was a message sent down from above.
Yeah. I believe this is being tried in the Southern District Court of New York. And with those cases, there's usually not a lot of media access. There's no live stream. There's no video of the proceedings. It's usually people at the courtroom, limited amount of people that usually kind of report back what is kind of happening here. But when it comes to, defending Diddy, it's going to be very difficult for a lot of these people to prove a lot of this stuff since, the burden of proof is on them. Will they be able to prove to a jury, and it has to be an unbiased jury, that he was completely guilty here? Will 12 jurors actually sit down and all of them in unison say, yep, this guy's a criminal here. This guy was involved here in these larger crimes here. As just a couple days ago, we found out that the 13-year-old girl that made the accusations, specifically about him at the VMAs in the early 2000s, that those charges were also dropped. Those accusations were actually dropped from the legal proceedings as well. So will Diddy be free? There's a possibility that he will. And there's probably also going to be some kind of people cut up in the mix that were trying to get famous here and trying to get rich here and just trying to get some of his money. So those people will be used as an example to kind of, muddy the waters here. And there is a larger possibility of P. Diddy going the kind of Bill Cosby route and just being totally exonerated in a court of law.